Hey y'all, two of my biggest passions in life are gardening and woodworking. For years now, I've been growing on a pretty large scale, and I've been building custom commissioned pieces of furniture for people. I've experimented a lot to figure out what works and what doesn't, so I figured I'd start sharing some of the tips, tricks, and techniques that have allowed me to be successful. Alright, so today I'm going to be showing y'all how I preserve root crops. Now, I've scoured the internet and never found a real definitive guide on how to preserve things like root crops. You can make sauce with your tomatoes, you can make pickles, but that aside, besides canning things and pickling things, which takes a lot of time, there's not a real good way to preserve that good earthy flavor from certain things, that just pick flavor, especially what you get from root crops. So I'm going to show you a real quick and easy guide for this. Now, I know what y'all are going to say. There's beets right here. It's not the sexiest vegetable, but let me tell you what. Roast this, put this over a bed of arugula, some caramelized onions, a little bit of a balsamic reduction, and maybe a little goat cheese or blue cheese next to a nice rare filet. Then come talk to me. All right, so let me show you the things that you're going to need to do. It's pretty simple. First thing is going to be a container. Do a little bit of research and make sure that it's safe for foods. Obviously, you're not reheating in this. You're not putting it in the microwave or anything like that. There's going to be a barrier between the food and the medium that's holding the food, but, just let it be safe and sorry. You're going to need your crops. In this case, I got some beets. I got some turnips. I got some carrots. We also got some rutabagas. They're not quite ready yet. They'll be ready a little bit later in the fall, but they can be preserved the same way. Need a water source. That's pretty straightforward. So the last thing here, you can use any kind of medium that's going to retain moisture. So retaining that moisture around your root crop is going to kind of emulate that environment in which they grow, and that's what's going to allow them to last for so long in storage. So what I like to use is sawdust. So I mentioned I got a wood shop. I plane and joint a lot of boards, and this container right here collects all my sawdust and all my chips. So these pine chips right here, these are untreated. These are going to be perfect because they're going to retain moisture and they're nice and light, so I can pick this container up and move it around. You can also use peat moss. You can use coconut coir. You can also use sand. Pretty much any kind of medium that also drains well but still is able to retain moisture. All right, so I got my scissors. So all I'm going to do is start snipping the tops of the beets and a little bit of the root, and brush off a little bit of the excess there, but you still want to keep what's on there. That way it just, kind of makes it feel like it's at home. So I'm going to go through and trim up all of these. We'll come back and I'll show you how to pack these up. All right, so we got all the beets trimmed up, and it's about time to start layering them in the box. So this is going to be real simple. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a few handfuls of sawdust and put it in the bottom of this container. Give me the chips, not sawdust. Just a light little coating. And then we're going to hit it with a little bit of water. That feels just about right. We're going to start layering the beets down in there, okay? So what you want to do, lay them just so they're far enough apart that they're not touching. They don't have to be too far apart, but they like a little bit of space. So we'll just kind of lay them in there like that. Okay, the roots are touching. It's not going to hurt. Some of these are a little bit smaller than I would like. It was an awful rainy and cool summer here in central Massachusetts, and that caused some things like early onset powdery mildew and cercospora leaf spot, which is a virus that attacks the leaves of things like Swiss chard and beets. That's okay. We still got a decent crop. Okay, so now that we got these all layered out, we're going to take a little bit more wood chips and put it over top, just like that. Basically, you don't want to see any beets at the bottom. Hit it with a little bit of water, Give it a little feel. I don't feel any beets. And now we can just keep layering until we're at the top. All right, so we got the last layer of beets in here and the last layer of wood chips on top. Sprayed it down with a little bit of water. The last thing we need to do is take this lid and put it on top. So you'll notice I drilled some holes in the top. That is to allow some air movement inside. If you don't do that, you'll seal this up a little bit too tight, and you'll most likely create an anaerobic condition, which is one without oxygen, and that's going to foster the growth of things like fungus. That's not going to be good for the longevity of these beets or any root vegetable. You want to take this and put this in a cool, dark area, say your basement, your garage, or root cellar, and it's probably going to last you around 10 months to a year. I hope this helps. Y'all have a good day now.